Well, welcome back to Collitalks, Transformative Conversations. The place where we bravely turn systemic struggle into spiritual surrender, as well as share amazing transformation stories that other people have gone through and that you can tap into and connect with the people that I am now sharing with you today. So today we have a profound conversation about where your capacity for meaning and purpose actually comes from, as well as we, often talk about how inherited trauma and hidden loyalties keep us stuck on this show. But how do we transition from breaking the pattern to living the purpose, your purpose? So our guest today holds the key. I am so honored to introduce today to you Ursula Bell, an internationally recognized family constellations facilitator, trainer, and author of In the Spirit of Love and Reconciliation. So it's so interesting that this comes up at this point in time because of the fact that there is so much going on with regards to reconciliation. I live in Canada, and that is a hot topic right now with regards to so much going on. So Ursula is unique in her approach, combining the deep reverence of constellation work with the existential wisdom of Viktor Frankl's Logotherapy. She's an expert in uncovering transgenerational dynamics and the fundamental orders of love and helping. She has traveled the world from Bavaria to Bulgaria, bringing this life-changing work to public audiences, guiding us all to understand the deep respect we owe to our own well-being and to the systems that created us. So today we dive in deep, and I am so excited to now share with you, Ursula. So let's step into this field and welcome Ursula. Welcome, my dear. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited and I'm really happy to be here. Yes.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I was going to ask you, I was thinking in terms of the unique blend, the constellations and meaning, right? Because your background with, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right either, but with Viktor Frankl's logotherapy is fascinating. So how does this core concept of the will to meaning interact with family constellations focus on belonging?
Well, I think it has a lot of parallels. And the more that I work with both approaches, the more I get the idea that one day I should write about that and how to
Oh,
combine these
wonderful.
two approaches. I started actually with Viktor Frankl's logotherapy because I never wanted to be a psychologist or a psychotherapist.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it felt too much in the head. So when I got to know Viktor Frankl's approach, I felt, yeah, that's something that attracts me, something I feel that could be mine.
Hmm.
So I did the training, but still I felt something is missing.
Okay.
And I was always looking for something to combine the head and the heart and the soul and the body.
Oh, beautiful.
So when I came to family constellations and I did my first constellation, then I said, that's it. That's what I had been looking for. And then I started, I could say I left a bit the Viktor Frankl part and I focused on constellations. But the more I worked with constellations, the more I understood that it is all about acknowledging what is. And this is also one of the core concepts of logotherapy, because
Mm,
logotherapy says it is not us asking life, why did you put me in that situation? Why am I in that situation?
right?
But it is life asking us, what do you do with the situation you are in?
Beautiful.
So this is also for me the perspective that I look at the family system and I look with my clients and I ask, okay, this is the past, you cannot change it, but what do you do with your life that you have been given?
Mm.
Yes.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. So, so there's two essential human drives here. So, where do these two drives meet in the work you do?
Can you clarify the question? I'm not sure
Sure.
if I
Okay.
understood.
So there's with the family constellation and the logotherapy, right? There's two
Mhm.
essential. It's like there's two different drivers, and so
Mhm.
and so where do they meet in the work you do? Because you kind of explained it with regards to how you married the two together,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
can you give us an example of that?
Wow, that's a good question because I work so intuitively that I never
Right.
think about that. But if you ask me where do they meet in the inner posture,
Oh.
in our inner attitude towards life.
Oh. Okay. And that's what I wanted because for the audience, they might be going, "Well, how does this all come together?" Right? So, yeah, interesting attitude. Well,
Yeah, but still, this is my personal experience. So
right.
maybe now a logotherapist only working with Viktor Frankl or constellation facilitator,
Hmm.
they they might they might tell me, no, that's nonsense. It's not like that. So whatever I say today, it is my personal experience over the last 13, 14 years.
Right. And that's the beauty of it is that this has come to you through the learnings and the teachings, right? So
Mm.
it's your unique. And you are unique,
Yes.
you are unique, and this is your unique process. And
Yeah.
that's why I love it because you've created something out of both and it works, which is great. I love it. So if a client, say, feels empty or, purposeless, like how does their systemic past and their family history often block their ability to find personal meaning in the present?
Well, it could have many reasons. So for me, working with constellations is never 1 + 1 is 2. And even if I have seemingly the same stories or the same backgrounds, it is always something different.
Hmm.
But the first thing that I look into is the client's genogram. So I create a genogram with every client I work with.
Wonderful.
Also, this is something that I haven't seen often, but I started it, I think, 2016 when I was living in Malta.
Okay.
And so Malta, Europe, the island, because
Right.
I think there is also Malta in the US, right? Sorry. And and we did I offered genogram workshops where everybody would draw their own genogram and go into the family history. And I realized that only by connecting with our ancestors through the genogram, a
Hmm.
lot of things happened.
Absolutely.
So this is also why I gave my book the subtitle More Than Constellations.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because some people come and it's only about the constellation. I will
Right.
do a constellation. Will a constellation help me? And this is like this magic wand thinking.
Right.
But for me, it is really this deep honoring and connecting with the family system. And when the client starts to gather the information for their genogram,
Hmm.
a lot of insights already can come up.
Yes.
So coming back to your question, if I look at my genogram and I see that there have been abortions, for example, or my father wasn't allowed to choose the profession he wanted, or my mother had to take care of their younger siblings, or whatever family history there might be,
Hmm.
I can already understand where this might come from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. The genogram is very, very powerful. It is, in a way, I have found for myself and others, a constellation in itself.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it is. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
And you're so right. When you see the things that you might not have and include them in the genogram, that it's like a light bulb goes on. And you go, oh, my dad wanted to be a musician. And maybe that's where my love of music comes from. And I also wanted to be a musician, but I never learned to play the piano because whatever, right? So all these all these things kind of go, it's like a puzzle, right? It goes click, 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 right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's only the one, but that's only
yeah.
the one side, because you asked me about the Viktor Frankl side.
Yeah,
So I have many people coming, what is my life purpose?
right.
I want to know my life purpose. So Viktor Frankl said, it's what you give to life.
Oh,
It's everything, every step that you do, every choice that you make, every decision builds up to eventually, when you look back, saying, oh, yeah, it all had a meaning. And
mm,
some people think the life purpose is something like big, and it has to be something, yeah, where I can shine my light with the world and I get famous or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
But it is not like that. It could be that you work as a cashier behind, in a shop, but you meet the people, you greet the people that pass by in a certain way, so you contribute to make their day. That
a-
could be a life purpose.
absolutely. It's being in service in various aspects,
Yes.
different,
And
oh, sorry, go ahead, hon.
no, I remember a constellation where we had a representative for the life purpose because it was the intention of the client.
Right?
And in the end, the client said, but the life purpose, it felt so normal, nothing special. And I said, yes, because that's, not every life, that's life. We expect so many incredible things, and we miss out the normal things that are so valuable.
Absolutely. I giggle right now because I think in terms of, and this is not to make fun of anyone, but it just, I think in terms of our social media now with regards to the so-called influencers, right?
Yeah.
Influencing you to do this and influencing you to do that. And in behind it all is they really want to be famous, right? And that's okay. But at the end of the day, like you say, it doesn't necessarily always lead to fame, fortune, and whatever the grandiosity of. Because I find with people that have been on paths like that, when it hasn't been sometimes just the simple things like hugging a tree, you know, that they end up at a very deep, dark place eventually because of the fact that it didn't fit. Their soul's purpose didn't fit their mental purpose, right? So it's so true to be appreciative of the succession of the steps we take. And actually, when we do look back with, gratitude of where those steps have taken us. So, yeah. And I was thinking too, Ursula, you've witnessed deep transgenerational dynamics since 211. And, what is the single most, for you, important piece of underlying wisdom about life philosophy that,
Mhm.
that Constellations has revealed to you personally?
Life wants us. Life loves us, and life wants us to connect with it.
Mm, mm-hmm,
And there is a reason why we are here,
mm.
every one of us.
Nothing by coincidence.
No.
No.
And and our our ability to connect with life comes through acknowledging the past. So
Mm,
whatever we fight, we are stuck with. And until we fight the past, we will not be able to let it go and turn to the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The carrying of all the baggage, right?
Carrying the baggage that we are not even meant to carry.
Exactly. Exactly. So when you're loaded down with baggage, you can't really move gracefully into the future.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking too, also your work extensively with the orders of love and helping. Can you explain to our audience the most misunderstood principle of these orders and how breaking this particular order almost always leads to a pattern? I would think of perhaps a little self-sabotage.
Well, I'm not sure if I have. So when you ask me what is the most misunderstood order of love, for me they are all equal, and for me they are all at the basis of every constellation work. And for me there are 4 orders of love. And the thing with the orders of love is that Bert Hellinger talked about the three basic orders of love,
Right.
and I have seen people talking about 6 or 7 or 8 orders of love. So for me, there are 4 because I added one, and this is about fate and responsibility, because for me, this is so important.
Oh, please
But
explain. Mm-hmm.
so everybody has their own fate that we cannot change, that we cannot take on, that we need to respect and acknowledge. And everybody needs to take responsibility for their life when they are grown up.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
what we see in constellations, and very often also in our conscious life, that we do not accept another one's fate.
Oh,
We
right.
want our parents to change. We say, "Oh, I wish my parents would have had a better relationship," or "I wish my mother would have left my father so she would have been, happier,"
Mm-hmm.
or "I wish whatever." So we wish the past to be different,
Right.
and we do not acknowledge the fate of our family members, or we do not acknowledge our own fate. Like, I wish I would have been born in a different family, for example. So
Mm-hmm.
it is about looking back and saying yes to everything that has happened, which does not mean, and this is, I think, a misunderstanding sometimes, it does not mean that we say, oh, everything was okay as it was. Because if you have a child being abused by the father, of course that was not okay.
Right.
And a perpetrator needs to take responsibility for what they did. But if I, as the child, continuously look back in saying it should have been different, I will never be able to let go of what happened to me, because it can't be different anymore. It has
Mm-hmm.
happened.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
So the only way to be free of the past is to acknowledge it. And this is something very difficult sometimes to understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
And,
it's that for sure.
mm, and only when I look back and I say, okay, it has been like that, this has all been part of my life, and I say yes to my parents, I say yes to my ancestors, I say yes to the country where I'm born in, then I can turn around and take responsibility for my life. And also here, very often there is a misunderstanding, because if we are unhappy, usually we blame everything and everybody else.
Oh,
If
yes.
my husband was different, if my parents had been different, if life was different, I would be happy. And with this blaming others for our unhappiness, we are stuck in our we could say victim mode in our story.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
when we are grown up, we are responsible for our happiness. Not my husband, not my children, not my parents. I am responsible, and I think this is very, very close to Viktor Frankl's logotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
I have this choice. And also looking back, he said, our ultimate freedom comes in accepting, a situation that I cannot change anymore.
Wow.
So here for me also there are parallels, and very beautiful and powerful parallels, because very often when I talk with clients about these things or with my trainers, the moment they understand this, it opens up a totally different perspective, and they say, oh my God, but then I can change from the victim to the creator of my life. And I say, yes, of course.
Of course. Profound. Boom. Right? Yeah. And
Yes.
and the space it opens up.
Yes. Yes.
The
Yes.
space.
A totally new space.
Totally new space, inside and outside.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Wonderful. Beautiful. Beautiful. In your book, Reconciliation, or you discuss reconciliation. And for someone who is deeply struggling, like really, really struggling, what does reconciliation look like at an energetic level?
Mm-hmm.
And why is it so important, and necessary before they can receive abundance or true joy to reconcile?
So the first thing is that many people misunderstand. They think reconciliation means that I have to go to the person and, on the physical level, and everything is fine and there is no more whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But reconciliation, or they say, how can I reconcile with someone that doesn't want to reconcile with me?
Good point.
Yeah, but for me, so again, everything I say or write is just my personal opinion. So other people might have a totally different opinion about that, and that's perfectly okay. For me, reconciliation means it happens in my heart.
Oh, okay. Right. Beautiful.
And if the other person doesn't want to reconcile with me, still I can do that in my heart. And I can say, okay, you're there, I am here. And I let go of my feelings of disappointment or frustration or blame.
Mm-hmm.
And I open my heart. And we cannot be in the mind and in the heart at the same time. So if I'm in my mind with blaming, with judgments, with thoughts of rejection and resistance, the heart doesn't open. The
Okay.
heart blocks.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
And when we are, and we do this sometimes in meditations, when we go in our heart space, the mind goes away. The moment when we are really in our heart, there are no feelings of blame and judgment and resistance.
Mm.
And this is a choice. This is a conscious choice. Do I want to go in my heart space? Or do I want to stay with my thoughts and reflect and blame and whatever? And also some people think that reconciliation has to do with forgiveness. And very often forgiveness is seen in the Christian way, like I forgive you what you have done, like we go and God forgives us our sins.
Right.
But and Bert Hellinger explained this very well, that if I forgive someone, I am bigger, I am
Mm-hmm.
more powerful, I have the power to forgive. So what happens if I, as the child, forgive my parents? And here we are with the second order of love. I put myself above my parents, but the child is the little one, and the
Mm-hmm.
parents are the big ones. So again, here we can see that forgiveness can create issues. Or if I'm in an adult relationship and let's say my partner has cheated on me and I say I forgive, then also the relationship is no longer in balance.
Right.
And I don't know if you know Alberto Villoldo. He once said, forgiveness is the absence of blame. No, I don't know if it was him. Sorry, my mistake. I
That's
don't
okay.
remember who said it. But
Right.
for, forgiveness is the absence of blame. And I realized that many people who tell me, oh, I have forgiven this person a long time ago, but then they continue 5 minutes to talk about what this person had done in the past.
Yeah.
And I say, listen, you are still there.
Living it.
Forgiveness, right?
Living it full color.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
So
Well,
if we stop blaming, if we have stopped blaming someone, we know that that's forgiveness in a deep way.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And it's so.
And that's
Oh
coming
no, I was just going to say,
closing
yeah,
the circle,
closing the circle.
coming back to reconciliation.
Hmm.
When I have this absence of blame, so in my heart, when I'm in my heart space, there is the absence of blame. So I am in peace with the other person, and I am in peace with what happened. And
Right.
this, for me, is reconciliation.
Beautiful.
And the reconciliation is reconciliation with my past, where I come from, with my family, and eventually with myself. Because the biggest struggle very often is with ourselves.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. It's that niggle wiggle, right? Trying to always kind of fit into ourselves without being
Yes,
yeah.
and the blame, you should do this, you should do that, you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not famous, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so prominent now with that. Again, I mean, social media can be used for good and it can also be used for not. And unfortunately, a lot of youth today, especially the young people who are actually allowed to have phones or iPads and are allowed to be on social media at a very young age, they are, you know, being very disturbed by this and that whole not knowing, because you can't know who you are at 10 years old. And when you listen to others on the outside who are influencing you, the slope is very slippery, right? So yeah, it's that whole thing around the, reconciliation. I was just thinking when you were speaking about that, you should be coming to Canada and working with our government with regards to, with what's going on with so much.
The thing is that it's not only in Canada.
I know. I
I would
know.
have enough work in Germany.
I know, right? Yeah,
But
it's
also, this is something that you cannot change a system.
no,
And
no.
when you reject the system, you are stuck with your views on that.
Hmm.
So I try to see what's going on in the world really from the eagle's perspective and from a systemic perspective. I understand what's going on.
Oh,
I
for
say it
sure.
can't be different. But on the other hand, I know that the change starts with each one of us.
Right. Absolutely.
And this is why I love my work so much, because every person that I touch and every person that I feel is getting a little bit closer to themselves, a little bit less prone to be influenced or manipulated by what's going on, but being centered and taking good decisions for their lives. Then I say that's what I can do. That's my contribution to all of this.
Hmm. Hmm. Well,
Um,
be the change, right? Be the
yes.
change. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking now in terms of, because I'm, very acquainted with hidden loyalties, and I love your work and how you use, the field to reveal these things, such as the loyalties. And what is a physical feeling a client experiences? Can you give an example of that, of what physical feeling they might experience when they finally release a loyalty that they didn't even know they had?
Usually it's the body feels much lighter, but it can be different feelings.
Hmm.
It's what I so when we work in constellation in group settings, then it's usually the representative of the client going through all these feelings and the client next to them. But especially in one-to-one sessions, there is very, very often this feedback of, I can breathe again. Or, oh, I feel like my body feels lighter. Sometimes it's also, there is confusion. I feel like in a something is shifting. So it can be very different body feelings, and for me it also depends on the issue of the client, because also hidden loyalties, there can be a lot. It can be a loyalty to an aborted sibling. It can be a loyalty to a dead grandmother or to the father. So it depends on how this loyalty affected the person in real life, and also the 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 consequences or the effects in the real life of that person are different.
Right.
So for some people, it's depression, it's diseases, it's addiction, and depending on these different states, or how can you say, appearances in real life of the hidden loyalties, then also the body feeling changes. So there is no 1 + 1 is 2 in
No.
constellation.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It really is. It's just, yeah, it's incredibly
Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah, absolutely. How does it, how does the process of working with the genogram, right, illuminate the concept of our struggles, that they're not personal flaws, but inherited commitments?
Mm. So when you draw, or let's say when I I only can talk from my side. When I draw the
Right.
genogram of the client, this is usually a process. So they receive a questionnaire with questions about themselves, about their family system up to the 3rd generation, and with their information, I draw the genogram.
Hmm.
And then usually there is an email exchange of a couple of more emails, because first of all, I never get all the answers to the first questionnaire.
Right.
Sometimes the answers are so confusing that I don't know who is who. So all this process of, or they say, yeah, this person died young, and then they say, okay, tell me a little bit more about this. What was the story? What was, what happened? Was it an accident or a disease or something? So with all that information, including, it is like the genogram talking to me.
Mm.
And also, interestingly, very often I have this feedback of clients that say, oh my God, I didn't know that happened. Now I can understand my mother better, for
Mm.
example. Now
Right.
I can see that also she suffered, or she suffered the same as I did. So already here, a lot of clarity can come up. And for example, a beautiful example, I was working with someone from Colombia, and he came, and his first introduction was that I am the only son of a poor woman in Colombia, and I didn't have a father.
Oh.
And then we worked in the genogram, and then we saw that he had two brothers, and she had given away the brothers, but she kept him. So only after that work with the genogram, he said, wow, I have a different picture now. I am
Hmm.
one of 3 brothers,
Oh.
and my mother did everything to make sure that I would have a good life. And this is
Wow.
why I am where I am now.
Oh my goodness. Wonderful. Yeah, just a whole new world opened up for him.
Yes, yeah,
The
yeah,
whole new reality.
yes. So
Yeah.
when I do my training after the family system, and so the theory of the family system and the orders of love,
Hmm.
every trainee has their one-to-one sessions about the mother line and the father line, and we go deep also with meditation, and we go deep in the family system. And this is always such an interesting process, because there are the ones that are so eager to create their genogram, and immediately they send me their drafts and they bring the information. And with others, you can feel that resistance of even starting to draw the genogram. So already here, you can see from that dynamic where there is resistance. And where there is resistance, very often there are hidden loyalties.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And secrets.
Yes, and secrets.
And secrets. Absolutely. This I know for sure.
Mm.
So your work, you've offered workshops right across so many diverse cultures, Germany, Malta, Bulgaria, Romania. What is the most surprising, I would say, systemic difference or common hidden loyalties that you've observed that seem to be unique to a specific national culture?
So what I realized is, for example, in Romania, there are many abortions.
Mm,
I have never seen so many abortions than in this country.
wow.
And it was a beautiful learning process for me also to see how different, because if you have one abortion, okay, that's how it is. But if you have 5 abortions in a sibling line,
Mm-hmm.
and you experience that every child has a different reaction towards the mother. And
Mm-hmm.
there are aborted children who are in peace with their fate, with what happens.
Right.
And then there are others who are still suffering because they wanted to live, or at least to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, especially at the beginning. Now it's something I know, but at the beginning this touched me really, really deeply. Yes.
So, do you have, without any judgment, of course, we are not to, to judge, but without judgment, with Romania, do you know why specifically there would be that many
Yes,
abortions?
because so what I've been told and explained, because that was their way of they didn't have, how do you say, birth control possibilities. Yes.
Right,
So
right.
it was their way of not having too many children. Yeah.
Amazing. Really,
Mhm.
so much.
And as you know, we do not judge in
No,
family
no.
constellations. It is never about saying something is right or something is
Mm-mm.
wrong. We just see the consequences. And
Right.
again, it's about reconciliation, you know?
Hmm.
Yes.
And so, do you feel that with the work that you've done and brought to people there, that it must have lightened things up? Because the heaviness, upon entry into that, and then to do the constellations, and especially with regards to abortion, it would have, I would think it would have been a kind of a heavy feeling going in, but the lightness of the feeling after.
Absolutely. I mean, this is already when you are, when you start working with the healing sentences, when you
Mhm.
start acknowledging the children and including them and giving them a place in the family. From this moment on, things lighten up. And of course, there are very, very, but this can happen in every, even in Malta, for example, where there are different dynamics, or in Bulgaria there are different dynamics. It depends on the single family system, on what has happened. And sometimes conversations are, I could say, lighter,
Hmm.
and sometimes they are really, really heavy, and with people sometimes just screaming out their pain.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and that's what we do as facilitators. We hold space for everything that happens.
Hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whatever the field brings, right?
Yes.
Hmm. So, Ursula, in your experience, what is the single kind of greatest sign that a client is ready to surrender the old family story and step into their own soul's purpose?
Well, you can see that and feel that in the client. And I'm so it I think it starts with clients asking me for a constellation. And there are clients where I say, no, I'm sorry, but I can't do that constellation for you, because I can feel that they are only looking for a solution so that they don't have to do the job, let's say. Something
Yeah.
like the magic wand, and I do a
Yes.
constellation and everything is fine afterwards. Yes.
The quick fix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's about, my I want to do a constellation for my mother-in-law that she's whatever, I said, I'm really sorry, but that's not constellations. But for I work different with constellations also in group settings, because I do that preparation. So I already have this preparation phase with the client before the actual constellation starts.
Right.
So most facilitators, I think, the group comes together and people talk about their stories, and then somebody does a constellation. I know who will be doing a constellation already at least a month before.
Mm-hmm.
And in the group, nobody knows anything about the story of the client.
Okay.
The only thing that the group will know is the client's intention, and that's everything.
Mm.
Also, I work with blind constellations, which means that the representatives do not even know who or what they represent
Right.
at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, coming back to your question, how do I know if the client is ready?
Mm-hmm.
I accompany the client in that process through the preparation phase.
Oh, beautiful.
Because, for example, also I realized that people come with an intention, but that intention is not really what is at the core of their wish. So through that 2 or 3 weeks of preparation and email exchange, a much deeper intention might show up, different from the ones they came with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's already a beautiful process of when you say the client is ready. So the client already connects with, oh, there is something underneath from what I was thinking I would wish,
It just
Yes.
goes deeper and deeper, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful process. Beautiful process. I was going to ask you, because our time is almost up here. What
Mm-hmm.
what is your next? What has Ursula got going on?
Well, one project is to translate my book in German, because I have asked. So I'm German, but I've written my book in English.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
And
great.
I mean, English is not my mother tongue, but English is my work language. So I just wrote the book as I speak and as I work. I didn't want to make it a kind of academic whatever. I wanted it to be the book from my heart to your heart. But now people are asking me, can we have it in German? So that
Of
would be
course.
one of my next projects. This year, I have one more constellation day here at my place in Bulgaria, and I will be in Bucharest end of November for a genogram workshop. So we will do a special workshop with every participant drawing their genogram and then having a constellation on the second day about what came up on the first day.
Beautiful.
And I have my training ongoing. The next training will start next year in September. I will be a co-facilitator in an amazing training about equine constellations with horses.
Oh, wonderful.
And it's a unique thing because we are 3 trainers. So I take over the essential Ancestrals of Family Constellations.
Oh,
Another
wonderful.
one is a former student of mine. She is an I don't know how you say assisted therapist.
Assisted therapist, yeah.
Yes, and also a psychotherapist. And she, after the training, she integrated the Orders of Love and Constellations in her work with the courses. And she's doing it in an amazing way, respecting the horses, leaving them where they are. And the third is one who will take over the part in teaching equine behavior.
Oh my gosh.
So yes,
what a great
so
project.
yes, it's
Yeah.
amazing, and it's in the UK. It has been accredited now, so
Oh,
it's also
really?
an accredited training. Yes, and this will start in March next year.
Amazing.
So yes,
How
this is one
long
of
is the training? How long is the
20 months.
Whoa.
Yes, 20
And
months, and there will be a mix of online sessions and practical weekends and online weekends. Yes, it's
so,
I don't have in mind how many hours, but it's
right.
really intense. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a long time, but it probably is what, once a month or once a week for 20 months or?
Yeah. So the evening session, especially also about equine behavior, there are, I think, weekly evenings. Then I have 4 weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Kate has the practical weekends in the UK. 4 days, Friday, Saturday, no, Friday, 5 days. So yeah, it's a big commitment for someone,
Fabulous project. I have
but
worked
it is special. Yes.
very. I've worked with horses here in Canada. I was a volunteer for the vets, from the war, and I did some trauma work with them and horses, and it was profound. It was profound. It was just over a weekend, but it really moved me to want to do more with horses, definitely, because
It's
I love
amazing.
them. I love
Yeah.
horses. Yeah,
Actually,
absolutely.
we have requests from Australia and from the US. So
Oh,
we
wow.
we might not next year, but maybe
Definitely expansion.
be something. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But we will see what happens.
Yeah, well, see what the field brings, right?
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
That's my way of working since more than 10 years. I trust the field.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea. Sometimes it materializes, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, I always say, okay, that's good.
That's
That's
good.
perfect.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah.
That door closes and another one opens.
Absolutely. And it's
Absolutely.
always the right thing. Always.
Yes,
Yes.
totally. I was going to say, with regards to being in touch with you, what is the best way for our audience? Because I consider my audience now your audience. So what is the way for our audience to be in touch with you? I will post, links, but just verbally.
So the best way is, I think, through my website, ursulamariabell.com. There are the contact links for contact. There are all my information. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also on Linktree, but I think the best, you can subscribe to my newsletter. I have a monthly newsletter that I always start with an article. So it's not just a newsletter to advertise my events, but for me, I always want to bring some value to people. So it's always an article about a certain topic. Or you can connect with me on Instagram. Also there now I have started to share.
Yes, I love it.
Daily.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes,
It's great.
I love it
It's
too.
fun. It's fun. It's fun.
Yes. Yeah. So
okay.
Whatever questions you have, just get in touch.
Okay.
I think my website is the best way to get in contact. Yes.
Well, Ursula, thank you so much. I'm so honored to have you on today. I just really, truly feel blessed, and I know our audience will really appreciate your wisdom and your experience, and just everything about you is beautiful. So thank you so much, and I look forward to the more with you.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for you having me here, and I wish everybody who listens to this podcast a good life in the spirit of love and reconciliation.
Oh, thank you so much. Lots of love, my dear. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too.